Colette, it's lovely to see you and to meet you. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Um, the reason that we've kind of thought it would be a good idea to involve women in business is one, Equine Charity is here for the promotion and expansion of equine assisted services within Northern Ireland. And we aim that everyone who could benefit from the services should be able to benefit from safe, regulated, accredited services in Northern Ireland. And in order to do this, obviously, we need practitioners on the ground. One Equine Trust is not, we do not practice in this. We are just an umbrella body. So
Yes.
we need practitioners on the ground delivering this daily. Um, so a key element of our role is to ensure that those practitioners are supported in their services. Over 90% of the current equine assisted practitioners in Northern Ireland are women, many of whom are sole practitioners. They're balancing horses, clients, accounts, social media, all of that stuff by themselves.
Marketing. Yeah.
Everything, funding applications, all of it. And no matter who you are, that's not necessarily feasible 365 days a year, especially with all the animals' needs as well. So through One Equine Trust, we're trying to surround practitioners with the best possible local people to enhance their businesses and be there as a backup and a support network for them. So that kind of drew me to the idea of women in business. I first came into contact with women in business back in sort of 2011, 2012. And it was an invaluable resource for me in terms of networking and finding out what others were doing in all the business spaces across Northern Ireland. But more importantly for me, what I loved was that there were people who were ridiculously high achieving, Wonder Woman, who were giving of their time, their expertise within the same space that people who were just starting out or were younger or were coming back to careers or whatever. And everybody was very much on a level playing field. And it did offer this very supportive, informative, exciting network to be involved in. So I was hoping that you would be able to share with us a little bit this evening about if people
Yes.
were interested in women in business and becoming a
Yes.
member, or what it entails.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, Molly, and thank you, Aisling, for giving me the opportunity to speak to everybody this evening. Delighted to hear, Molly, that you have known about us and been a member from that length of time. I too started out as a member of Women in Business, and now I head up membership with Women in Business. I have a short presentation, if I can share that. And let me just make sure that I can share that. Do I need? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
I think I've lost. Oh, there we go. So if I go into share, and apologies if it's not the first thing that comes up.
Oh, you're fine.
Um, so apologies if you hear my dog in the background as well.
Sorry.
Uh, I'm sorry, this may have been a tailored one. So this is, can you see my
Yeah,
screen okay?
yeah.
Okay, so this is a briefing really on the benefits of corporate and group membership with women in business in Northern Ireland. So we are a charity, but we provide women with the support, skills and connections they need to start, grow and achieve success in their careers. And I suppose it's that element of, if you're starting out in business, we have an entrepreneurial element to our membership. If you're growing a business, we have our group membership and our corporate membership. And if you're looking to achieve success in your careers, we have the individual membership. So we have those three types of membership for women in Northern Ireland. What a lot of people might not know is we're part of the WIB group, and we have three other social enterprises. So Women in Business sit here, and that is me and my team who head up the membership element. We have Diversity Mark, which is headed up by Christine, and that's an accreditation for companies, businesses, sole traders on neurodiversity. It's a bronze, silver, gold accreditation, which is really going to come in, through law as well, that companies can demonstrate that they are a diverse employer. Timely Careers, a very interesting element of the WIB group, headed up by Laura, and that is for women who find themselves that they've had to come out of employment for whatever reason. Most people think maternity, but it could be caring leave, it could be mental health, physical health, sibling, looking after siblings, and then are in the position that they want to come back to work. So Timely Careers, free to join as members of Women in Business, and they give you the skills, the CV writing skills, the interview skills, all the skills that you actually require once you have left employment and need to get back into it again. Our Centre of Learning has just recently been launched, and Centre of Learning is all the programs that you would feel would be useful. So how do I manage people? What makes me a successful businesswoman, businessman, because that's, we are unapologetically a women's network, but we do, we have allyship with male counterparts in organizations as well. So Centre of Learning is all the programs and skill element that you would need to be successful in your business. I mentioned we are the leading women's network in Northern Ireland. We have been in existence for 22 years, so this is our 22-year anniversary. We have over 10,000 members, with it's actually about 139 corporates now, and growing. And we exist to drive inclusive economic growth, work with the change makers to address the structural barriers facing women in the workplace. And when I say that, we were in Washington with all of the deal breakers over St. Patrick's. Not me personally now, but the CEO was. We were up at Stormont, and we had a big input into the childcare policy that has just been announced for Northern Ireland. Yeah, on the basis that Northern Ireland was the only area of the UK and Ireland that had no childcare policy in place. So we, as a leading network of women, give them input on surveys that we had carried out internally as well. So we do have influence. We've just onboarded Invest NI, which is huge. We've onboarded the Strategic Investment Board of Northern Ireland as well. So all of the funding element, to help support business. So they have just onboarded in the last month as corporate members. So what would somebody within your, who's working solely on their own, but wants to maybe reach out to other people, we can raise your profile within, a large and growing community. It's an employee perk. So if you're not working on your own, or if you as a charity think, we are going to sign this up for our members, there is a discount for charities as well, by the way. So we can discuss that offline. But there, it's just bringing everybody together. We bring learning, savings, and business back to your organization. We have specific forums, so we've specifically mentioned the HR Leaders Forum here, Molly, but we have finance forums, marketing forums, digital forums, communication forums, and those are where, people who are the HR leader, the finance leader, the marketing leader, head of people, come together outside of their organizations where it might be more difficult to speak about some of the queries and the issues that arise, and it's a real safe space, and they interact with all other organizations. We have a young women's network. I've spoken about, Caffrey College there, and all of and that's up to the age of 28 years of age. So They meet 3 times a year. We have a multicultural women's network. Again, they meet 3 times a year as well. You can gain inspiration by engaging in our 6 high-profile events. So we run Women in Tech conferences, Women in Tech Awards, Women in Business Awards, a chairs lunch, and 2 other events that have just slipped my mind, that
Yeah.
bring people together. And as a member, you get a discount on the conferences and awards. All other events are free. So online events, face-to-face events are all free. But we do have to discount on conferences and awards because we're paying hotels predominantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can appreciate. Get involved and collaborate with our events. And I suppose the good thing now in the last 6 months, women in business have identified that not everything is Belfast centric. So we go out to regions. So we were in Enniskillen in March. We were in Derry, Londonderry in March, April. We are in June. We're in Causeway, Coleraine,
Yeah.
and in June. In August, we are going to Mid Ulster, and we were in Newtownards in February as well. So, we strategically plan events. We look at the input from our members to say, we'd love you to come to Dungannon, for example. We'd love to come to Cookstown, Lisburn, Antrim, and then we work out a good day of the month to do that. So those are really good events, and we get local, speakers to come in and speak as a panelist about their journeys. If you become a member, this is what you would receive. You get a dashboard, a personal dashboard. You can view events. You can search for other, members and connect with people that you wonder where they went to in their working career. And then some of our events we record, like tonight we're recording this. So we would record events that are really good, and then and if you haven't had the chance to see them, you can go and look at those. So we have a monthly educational webinar, and we online industry roundtable. So that happens every month. The educational webinar was procrastination versus prioritization. So we had Camilla Long, a communications expert, just saying, how do you prioritize your day? We had 72 people on that, which is fantastic. The month before, it was about oh my goodness, resilience. And actually, we had 100 people on that one, and that made us believe resilience is a big topic for our women. Wellness topic. So again, members have come to us and said, "Look, would you do one on hormones?" And as broad as that title is, it covers all of our members from our young networking, all right through to our menopausal ladies, and what comes, the challenges that come with all of that. We have a quarterly new members networking evening. So our next one is the 22nd of August, and at our last one with 64 new members coming together, facilitated networking, introducing everybody to each other, and with a glass of prosecco and a slice of pizza. So it's a lovely, warm, friendly environment. Again, we have a keynote speaker. These are sponsored events by IQ and Co. They speak a little as well, and then they offer their services, which is a finance company for anybody who wants to talk to them. HR Leaders Forum in Custom House Square, Young Women's Networking, as I've mentioned, are an ethnically diverse women's network, and then those regional events across Northern Ireland. So, maybe this is of interest. I'm not sure if the age geography really within your organization. I'm not sure again of this element either, but all of these are open once you become members. So these are events. The Entrepreneurs Conference is just finished. It probably would have been one you'd have been extremely interested in. We had 350 people in the room, and all island conference as well. So it yeah, it was really phenomenal day. Probably seen a lot of promotion about it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with promotional opportunities, when you become a member, there's 13,000 email subscribers. We have it's up to 67,000 now as a social media audience. And Kira is our marketing lady. So, you know, anything that you want to talk to Kira about. In fact, actually, I have another, and I don't know if you can see that. So these are the opportunities to promote. You know, we have a members profile. We share members profiles to elevate personal presence. And we do that every Monday with a different member. Then you have the opportunity to do a 60-second profile. We send you off the form. You have an opportunity to do a blog for us. Again, oh, they've said now it's going across 70K. Okay, so it's rising as I speak.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then we have the monthly email. So just thought maybe throw those in as well. Just by way of the promotional opportunities. But predominantly for me, I think it is the networking opportunities. You know, if you can't make a face-to-face event, then the online events are there on a monthly basis. If you can't make them, you can register for them and then you'll get the recording.
Yes.
You know, it has to work for your community.
Yeah.
And that's, as head of membership, that's the one thing I'll say. It's all very well me saying, oh, I think you should join. I think you should join. If it doesn't work for you, I would just lose you. So it has to work for you. So whether it be an online or a face-to-face, but the getting together and face-to-face is daunting for a lot of people who have never joined networks before.
Yeah.
But I think we have the expression, it's like the membership of a gym. You
Yeah.
know, I could have my trainer sitting there, but if I don't go to the gym, I'm never going to get in and out of it.
Yeah.
So if I don't go to something with women in business, I'm never going to know
Yeah.
how good it is or what connections I'm going to make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And funny, we saw that we've been running sort of these webinars and then we've had a few in-person events and we were at the second one there last week. And I think now everyone has become a little bit more familiar, probably with what we're doing and with the people in the arena. And a really lovely group turned up for the in-person one last week. And at the end we did almost like a speed dating thing, you know, sort of explaining what you did and where you did it and stuff like that. And the buzz in the room was something you forget, you know, you
Yeah,
hadn't experienced it for so long, and it was really brilliant just to get that feeling of everybody kind of coming together again. And I think, I mean, it does take a lot to put yourself out there and go into the room with people you don't know. But I mean, speaking from experience, like there's people from Women in Business that I made contact with and still do talk to, still work with, still, you know, network with, do all of that with. And they're not they weren't from my sector of the industry. They weren't, you know, but we've all come together and helped each other out in different ways
yeah,
through different things. And, you
yeah,
know, unless you start those conversations, I guess you don't know where they're going to go.
exactly, Molly. And the bit about facilitated networking is, I mean, and I'm very open and transparent. I went to an event that I'd been invited to about 3 weeks ago. The two people that had invited me to the event are the only two people I knew in the company, and they weren't at the event. And I walked in. I did the classic go to the food, and stand at the food, and then play with my phone a wee bit because I knew
Yeah.
nobody in the room. But we
Yeah.
don't do that. And I actually came away. Now I did stay an hour and a half, and I did end up speaking to a few people, but I did come away going, I'm so glad we do it in a different way. So when you come to our event, we'll give you a name badge for starters. So you're not walking around blank going, oh God, I wonder who that is. Like your name is there. Secondly, we might put a wee dot on that and you'll go, God, I wonder what that's about. And then, you know, after the keynote speaker will say, could all the pink dots go together? And this is a group of 7 or 8 people who have never met before. And we give them, you know, what was your day like? As an opening question.
Yeah.
you know, what car do you drive? It's not all about, oh, what do you do? What's your job? You know, how ambitious are you? It's not that. And if I give you the example, at one of our Just Connect events, and I've just heard this recently. So we had a fantastic event in Enniskillen in the workhouse. If I don't know if anybody is in
Yeah.
Enniskillen, based in the workhouse in Enniskillen, really fantastic, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful building. Great event. Came away, lovely feedback. Everybody was firing in emails and lovely feedback on it. And then a lady reached out to me and she said, just to let you know, we have formed a WhatsApp group from the event, and we
Amazing.
didn't know if you wanted to join or not, but you know, we got together afterwards and we thought, God, we all really like each other, and they formed a WhatsApp group. And I'm thinking, I can't think of any better. You know,
Yeah.
that's job done. That I
Yeah.
have connected you all together. Another lady at a Just Connect event in Armagh, after we had finished, so we were 10 to 12 again, 3 panelists, and the lovely format and the lovely facilitated networking. I came on back to Belfast, and one of the ladies emailed me that night and said, just to let you know, after you left, a group of us went for lunch. Weren't they lucky? A group of us went for lunch, and I have secured £1,500 worth of business
Amazing.
from that event. Now, I don't
Amazing.
know, in your world that might not seem, but to me, I was like,
Oh,
job done.
that's
Job
fantastic.
done. I have
Fantastic.
introduced somebody, or not I, they've introduced themselves, but I've facilitated something that has
Yeah.
joined somebody up with somebody else that has actually got them work, valuable work for a sole trader, startup business
Yeah.
who, you know, now feels confident going, somebody has validated what I do by actually giving me a contract.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's incredible.
it
Yeah.
is, and it's a good feeling, and I do think if nobody, and I can see that Anne and Ruth has joined us now, if nobody is a member, I genuinely would encourage it. But of course, I'm going to, because I'm head of membership. I, but I mean, I would want the feedback as well. If after 2 or 3 months you go, actually, I joined that, Colette, and I'm getting nothing from it, you
Yeah.
need to come to me and say that, because that's not a what I would expect, or but if it is, if that's a reality, then we need
Yes.
to do something about it. So yeah.
And what I always find quite interesting as well, is when you're working on your own, as a lot of these guys are, and they're trying to work out, health and safety risk assessments around equines, and then they're also trying to promote business and get funding streams through, because it is, it is a difficult one to get funding for and get support for, and you're probably out sort of selling yourself, but it's not a unique these are not unique challenges to this industry, if you like,
Exactly.
and I think, people, when you're on your own and you're struggling with it, it's very easy to sort of panic and think, God, how do I get through this? But actually, when you sit in a room with other people, they are facing exactly the same challenges. That they may not involve horses, but those are the same things. They've got to create social media, they've got to sort out pensions, they've got to sort out funding applications, they've got to do this, and that kind of thing is incredibly supportive. If
Totally. You know, we have the entrepreneurial element of it, headed up by Roshi McDermott. And though, you know, they have their own Facebook group, they meet. So we had a Just Connect entrepreneur. Ironically, we did a show of hands in the room, and about 50% of people didn't like being called an entrepreneur. They prefer to be called startup, or have a business, but it's not, I don't see myself as an entrepreneur.
you quite know the
And
numbers, that trait.
it is, isn't it, actually? But yeah, so I now struggle saying it because I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm not offending anybody. But anyway, it was a Just Connect entrepreneur event. We had Una Cookies there, and I don't know if you've ever followed them, but
Yeah.
Una Cookies started out as a bakery in Ballyclare with 3 members of staff. They now have something like 270,000 followers on Instagram, and they employ 12 people, and they are massive. And the idea came from one of the owners going out to America, coming back and going, we could do cookies in a box and put them through letterboxes. And that's literally what they do. So if you haven't looked at them, have a wee look at them. But they came and spoke. And you, honestly, from an entrepreneur, startup business point of view, They knew nothing about marketing. They knew nothing about patenting a name. They knew nothing about, and they went to Invest in I and said, look, this is our idea, come and help us. And Invest in I came out to their house, a marketing guy, got them their name, and helped them with funding as well. And Invest in I are now, I was telling Molly, I've just onboarded Invest in I, so it'll be in their interest to reach out to my members as well. But in the room as well, loads of people starting up their business. I mean, laughing yoga. We had a health and safety person as well. So we'd laughing yoga, somebody starting up a laughing yoga. I'd never heard of it in my life, but amazing, by the
Sounds
way.
good. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
sounds
Yeah.
great. Wellness people, sounds, I'm not, I'm just giving you the top, there's wellness, health and safety, yoga, Pilates, bakeries, bulletproof vests. A lady has started up a company making bulletproof vests. A lady has started up a company with clothing where she is revamping clothing into babies' clothing and really amazing. But everyone in that room had no marketing experience, no social media experience, no digital experience. And the UNA ladies were able to say, well, this is who you should go to. And you see your southern colleges and there's digital pupils, students there that are dying to come out to help companies, to help startups, to help, so go to your colleges as well. Look, it was a minefield of information, but that's the kind of information that you'll hear on the webinars or what you'll hear in the face-to-face events.
Yeah, and it's invaluable. So what's the Centre of Learning? So is it it's part of Women in Business as well,
It
or it's
is.
one of the
It's
three?
so it's under the umbrella of Women in Business, and it's headed up by Denise and Christine and Maria. No, not Christine. Denise, Nikki, and Maria, and they run programs. So mums and baby bumps. In fact, if I go onto the website and then I can share, wouldn't that be useful? So
Yeah.
here we go. So let me share again, and you can just 2 seconds. Here we go. So this is our website. If nobody's ever been on it, I'll just go back. So this is the Women in Business website. So membership, how to join is all there. What's on? So you see all of our events that are coming up, right up to I think August at this stage. So September, we've even gone ahead of ourselves. Then you'll see Centre of Learning here. Sorry, you can see my screen okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so Centre of Learning. So Elevate supports you today, empowering you for the future. There's a wee video about what they do, but look, we develop and deliver practical, bespoke and tailored programs for professionals and business owners across Northern Ireland. These are their upcoming programs. Now you will see these are chargeable,
Yeah.
but with a Women in Business membership, you get an affiliated discounted price.
Brilliant. Okay.
So it's a 20% discount. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, God, some of them are quite dear, and I've fed that back to Centre of Learning. But, I've signed up for this one myself,
Yes.
100 quid. I think I'll be well spent for me,
Yes.
to improve those skills. And then these are their programs. These are who have partnered. These are the companies that have partnered with them already as well. And they've been doing it from 2019, but
Okay.
they've only launched as a social enterprise within the last 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But if you
Brilliant.
go on, watch their video, it's Denise, Nikki, and Maria, and they're bringing people together, back to business, empower women in leadership. What to see? If I click on view all the programs, so you have virtual events here. So if you can't make something, that one's advanced excels. Right. You touched on it, Molly. We have a mentoring program. So
Fantastic. Okay.
through Women in Business, you'll have the affiliated discount rate, and the mentoring program is, delivered by Centre of Learning, sponsored by Advanced Coaching. So you get a
Okay.
virtual mentee onboarded, virtual mentor onboarded, and then you have them for 12 months.
Amazing. Amazing.
I have to say, feedback on the street, as I talk about, is that's the biggest part of our Centre of Learning.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I think if I hit book now, they're completely booked out to October. Yeah,
Wow.
October. So there
Yeah.
we go. Completely booked out, and then
It's
you're
just fun.
selecting there. It's really, and ironically, at most of the events that I go to, I'll stop presenting now. At most events I go to, I'm either talking to a woman who has been a mentor and said, "Oh my God, I was a mentor for women in business and I'm still in touch with all of my mentees," or I'm talking to a mentee going, "You've no idea how this changed my life." Talking to somebody outside of my own business, we meet for a coffee and a walk, and then it becomes a really close friendship.
Yeah. Well, that sort of service, I think, is kind of vital, because a lot of the practitioners who are working in this area, it's quite hardcore stuff they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and it takes a lot out of them, as well. And I don't think a lot of them get the headspace to go and just, it isn't regulated in the way that psychiatrists or psychologists, where they do need to go and speak to people about what they're doing in their practice and have their own psychologist and their own psychiatrist and same counselors. This isn't regulated in that way. So it can be that the people who are practicing EAL or equine assisted therapy or hippotherapy, whatever they are dealing with, they are taking all of that on board themselves as well. So to have a sort of mentor, both for a business relationship, but even just to discuss, what they're doing, with someone else on a regular basis, would be a really vital addition, I think, for all of them.
Yeah.
Um, because it is, there's a lot of there's a lot that goes into it, and then you've got the added sort of layer of horses and the nightmare that comes with them, I guess, as well. Um, but definitely a mentorship that could help them work through the business, because, like I said earlier, these challenges are not unique to this particular sector in any way. I'm just checking, Ruth or Anne, do either of you have any questions or anything that you want to put to Colette? So we put these recordings up, Colette, and then we take questions and answers and emails and stuff from them, sort of post event as well. But
Okay.
just what if you guys are live there, is there anything you would like to ask, or are you happy enough?
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ruth.
So Molly and Ashley know what I look like. I'm sorry, Colette, my camera's not working.
You okay?
So I don't have a question for you, but I just wanted to say hello. I haven't quite got a business yet, but Molly, I'm working on it. Still hasn't
Yeah.
died. The dream still hasn't died. We're still
No, that's great to hear. And now, look, reach out to me. You know who I am, Ruth. And hopefully Molly and Aisling can share my details with everybody afterwards. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, please do. And I will get back to you. So yes, lovely to meet you virtually as well, Ruth.
As soon as we get the green light, I'll reach out to you. So there you go.
Please do. Please do.
And Ruth's doing some very exciting stuff, Colette. So I think she's selling herself a little short there. She's doing amazing work behind the scenes. So it's very
Brilliant.
exciting. What's hopefully coming down
Brilliant.
the line. Yeah, yeah. Ashley, do you have anything for Colette or anything?
No questions either. Just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course I'm going to be very biased, aren't I? This is an amazing
Sounds like you
network.
should be anyway. So
No, do you know, honestly, we had an event last night, even over at version 1 in Belfast, and it was Women in Tech. And, the panelist was very nervous, and I'm the interviewer, so I'm like, please, I'm as nervous as you are, so don't be worried about it. But everybody in this room doesn't want anybody to do bad, and they're not here to judge, they're here to be inspired. And honestly, I think we left about 8:15 last night, and you're buzzing. And I walked out with everybody sort of like, keeping my low profile as I'm walking out. But all I can hear is, "Oh my God!" And did you hear? Did you? And they're just buzzing and I think that is hard to beat. Don't get me wrong. The thought of working to 8 o'clock at night when you've done a day's work does not appeal to most people. But I think you do it even if you diaried it for twice a year, with Women in Business, said, something, I'm going to go to 2 events in the evening, and I'll do 2 virtual events. There's 4 events that I'm going to attend a year. I genuinely defy anybody to say that they don't walk away feeling, my God, there are
Yeah.
some really inspiring women out there who have brilliant, takeaways for me that, I can actually go and work on myself. I mean, I attended, so yesterday morning there was another event. It was an online event, and it was a well-being event. And it was Ruth Green. I don't know if anybody knows Ruth.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know? You're unbelievable. So
Yeah.
Ruth worked in a corporate for so many years, but burnt herself out really, and told a story about how she decided she was going to step back and she was going to do a program for well-being, and it was an 8-week program, and now she runs those programs herself. But I attended, and I wasn't really supposed to attend, but firstly, for my members, I think it's really important that they see I also take something out of these courses. And secondly, so a colleague was running it, and she went, "Oh, I didn't know you were coming, Colette." And I said, "No, I'm here because I don't know how to look after myself." You do talk to everybody else and go, "Well, I hope you're looking after yourself, hope you're looking," but you don't actually look after yourself. So I'm here to learn something today as well. So, but it was really amazing, even if it's just a walk or a coffee, or and do it once a week, just go, I'm going for a coffee by myself, or I'm going to meet that friend that I said I was going to meet in the last 3 months. I'm actually going to do it this week. That can help.
Yeah.
Just as
And
simple as that.
actually, I'm just thinking, Ashley, we need to get you signed up. I should have had you signed up ages ago, because Ashley came to us. She had done an undergrad in Queen's in psychology, and then a
My
master's,
degree.
and a master's in animal behavior. And did you did a second master's as well, Ashley? Did you do?
So my undergrad was in arts actually, but
Oh,
then I did 2 masters. One was in psychology and one was in animal behavior,
okay.
Wow.
both
Yeah.
in Queen's.
Yeah.
Wow. My degree, psychology from Queen's, 1986, centuries ago.
And then joined us as our sort of, and was our sort of first employee, and has been working virtually with us, and sort of herding our board together and doing all of this stuff. Um, Very, very capable and doing a brilliant job, but probably challenging, I would say. And I think this would be really great actually to get you signed up immediately, probably as well, to get some support systems in there as
I think
well,
that
and
sounds
get you on
fantastic.
courses. Yeah,
It don't,
definitely.
look,
That's the direction.
honestly, I think, you can listen to my sound bites on it, and that's dead on. But, if you signed up to it and you weren't getting what I have promised that you will get from it, then you need to just come back and say, actually, I'm not getting that. And then we'll have to do something about it. But I promise you, nobody has done that yet. Nobody has come back to me and said, you oversold that, because you can't. And I don't like calling it a network anymore. I call it connecting. You're just connecting with people. And I mean, I met somebody new last night. She is a member, but I'd never met her before. And she's Myra from Queen's, and she's studying, so she's a student. And she messaged me on LinkedIn last night going, I'm so excited about and it was her first event. Sorry, better caveat on that one. It was her first event. She said, I'm so excited about being part of this network. And I thought, I can go to bed, and sleep now. That's good. And I went, I'm so happy to hear that. And God bless. She was like, night, night, and everything. I was thinking, God bless. But it does feel like a family. It does feel like, I think if anything happened now, we Myra, and I've only met her once, I'd be really annoyed. It does feel like a family after a while. Not initially now, God, we're not asking you to come to Christmas dinner or anything. But it does feel nice.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, Colette, look, thank you so much for your
Not
time
at all.
this evening. It's been brilliant. It's so nice to meet you, and just been brilliant to hear about everything that's going on. And if you're happy enough, we normally we'll share the Women in Business website and the contact details on there. And I don't know, would you like yours shared as well, or
Yes,
or
absolutely. I'll
yeah,
forward you I'll forward you that presentation as
That would
well.
be fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
thank you.
forward you the presentation because you'll see Kira's name on there for marketing and stuff.
Brilliant.
And you know, all the contacts, and getting on the website's good, getting yourself around the website is good as well. And if you want to be a member, look, me and Adam works with me as my colleague. I will get you signed up and get you onboarded and get you to the new members event on the 22nd of August. There you are, put that date in your diaries already.
Brilliant, brilliant. Look,
Yeah,
thank you so
yeah.
much, Colette.
Not
That's
at
amazing.
all, lovely to meet you all.
All right. Lovely to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.